You go through these exit interviews every year, but how different is it this year knowing that no one's coming back to the city?
Again, we don't really talk about that. I mean, it's you know, I think there's some guys that have been around here that enjoyed the area and potential free agents, and now have to make a decision that even though you may be staying with the organization, you're not in the same area. But not a lot of time really spent on that today.
How much do you think about yourself personally? What
Again, to be honest with you, I don't think anything's going to kick in or has felt any different for me until I leave training camp in New Jersey next year. Honestly, it's something that we knew was coming, but even as a family, we address it with the kids, and we've kind of just gonna cross the bridge when we get to that point.
anyone else want to join in?
So what do you? Yeah, love to. Thank you. So again, what are you doing again, family wise? You gonna stay here and commute or?
Yeah. The kids are grounded here right now, and certainly with the sports, and I've talked to enough people in the game. I got a son going into in ninth grade and a daughter in eighth. It's a tough year to move them, but it's part of the business at the end of the day. But right now, they're going to stay put, and I'm going to kind of be back and forth as much as I can.
Do you presume you'll be in Binghamton next year, or is there any talk of moving within the
I'm
organization?
under contract. That's the only right now. That's all I know. But no, there's been no conversation past this. I mean, this happens real quick. I mean, even for players, talking about contracts right now. Today's not the day to do it. It's just to kind of review, reflect on the year with guys, and that's really all these meetings are.
The fact the coaching profession is often nomadic.
Mhm.
Right? The fact you've been able to stay in one place this long puts you in a minority.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no question that we're very fortunate, not only to put us in one place, but what we feel is a really good area for kids. And everywhere I've played, ironically, this is also the closest spot we've been, even though it's still 6.5, 7 hours. I've been in South Central Jersey, I've been in Virginia, I've been in Portland, Maine. Those are long treks back to Ontario. So we've been able to enjoy, have family and friends come in over the past years, and like I said, we've really grown to love the area, but it is part of the business, and good, bad, or indifferent, you end up moving on. This is a unique situation, but it finally has come, and there's no question we feel blessed and fortunate to and I have been fortunate to be able to stay with one organization.
What's the when you get over the sting of what happened Friday night in the triple overtime? You still feel pretty good about the season in terms of developing players and having some success.
Yeah, well, I think from developing players, it was a real good year. I think that you look at the goaltenders in Blackwood and Appleby, and the opportunities they got that certainly wouldn't have been there if Wedgwood didn't get hurt early. And then I think the biggest thing is just from an organizational standpoint, the amount of games that the young guys got, and went up and played significant roles. And I think we got a real good grasp on what some of these guys can do or potentially do down the road. Our season overall, it's tough to compare to last year, different types of teams, but I think at times we needed to go on a little longer runs, I guess, and really that stretch where we struggled to score there in March. Um, I thought this team could have won the division. I mean, expectations for us were high. We liked what we saw, but even as a coach, even when you lose all those guys, I still think a couple wins here or there, a couple goals here or there. Scoring was a struggle for us all year, but certainly through that stretch, would have put us in a position to still win the division. And then if you look at the playoff series, it's tough to swallow. I mean, other than game two. Certainly we got outplayed early on in game four, but had opportunities to keep alive, and so you lose two overtime games, certainly felt we could have won the series.
Was what happened last night maybe a pick me up for the organization in the draft lottery?
Yeah, I tell you, there's a lot. I was getting a lot of text messages from family and friends, and we were going around in the organization. It got it's kind of neat being on that side of it, and you really sense the lottery side of it. It was as it wound down. So I've watched it. Was really. I think in the past we knew our fate real early, and it wasn't that exciting, and the slots didn't change. Obviously, the Connor McDavid year was a big deal, but at the end of the day, the placement of the teams and the percentages didn't play out like they normally would. So that certainly made it exciting.